Sonics on the board again, lead 6-0.
You see him standing up. You've seen him in action, so you know that he'll take just one more play like that, and then somebody's coming out of the line.
Yeah, Nate is up off the bench, and he is standing, and he is glaring at his group. LaMarcus Aldridge works the near block. They swing it around and find Blake in the corner for an open three. Rimming off into the hands of Johan Petro. Watson will take it again. Long lead pass. Wilcox at the rim. Comes down with it under control. Tried to feed to Green. Durant there to grab it, and the Sonics reset with 19 to shoot.
Well, they did learn something from last night. If you push, you have a chance to get some easy scores, and they're a better running team than Portland. Portland is like a half-court team. They like to grind it out. Petro.
Nice dribble adjustment to his left, put one on the deck and popped it, and Nate McMillan will call a timeout. The Sonics lead 8-0 with 9:48 remaining in the first, and the crowd is into the game. Here we go. What would you expect? It's Seattle and Portland hooking up tonight.
Well, you know, if you can, and this applies to any team, if you can get up to the floor with more people at the offensive end than your opponent, you're going to have a chance to score the ball. And that's what's happened. They're not stopping the ball, and they certainly cannot keep up with the ball.
Well, the Sonics are defending, and they are running, and they lead 8-0 here, just underway in this first quarter. And all of that action prompted a timeout from the Portland Trailblazers.
Well, the one thing that they know, if they rebound and push the ball, they got a good chance of scoring. Watson sees an opening and just takes it right to Steve Blake and the Trailblazers. And running is an attitude. I mean, as much as people talk about wanting to get like Phoenix and run and play quick, you have to do it every time. You can run after a make, a miss, a timeout, but you've got to aggressively pursue it. Jaren Jack gets on the board.
Jack straightaway jump shot. Jaren Jack last night. Blazer win. 15.6 assists. Watson at the point.
Jack was huge down the stretch. Nice play for Wilcox. Jack's going to pick up the foul.
And again, it was Watson slipping that ball off the holster and sliding it in low to Chris Wilcox. Sonics have gone to Wilcox now 3 times. Once in the half court, once on the open court, once for an alley-oop bucket. Non-shooting foul, much to the chagrin of P.J. Carlissimo. And an offensive foul whistled on the Sonics. This is on Earl Watson.
That's some of that feistiness I talked about. Blake was, you know, really doing a good job of shadowing him, and he just got a little too pushy, pushed him off right in front of the official.
Joe DeRosa, Rodney Mott, Tommy Nunez Jr. are officials tonight here in Seattle. Brandon Roy handling into the lane. Explodes to the cup. Missed it. Brisbilla was in the cylinder. No bucket. Sonics take possession of the ball on the goaltend.
What you see as Brandon Roy is holding the side of his head whenever they get in trouble. He's the guy that's going to straighten the ship out. Took it to the rim, got there, just didn't finish.
Basket interference to call, and the Sonics will bring it the other way with 18 to shoot. Up top, Watson zips a pass over to Durant. Has to step on Jack. Encounters Brisbilla. Brisbilla draws the foul, and Durant will head to the line.
So what do you notice about this unit that we haven't seen prior to the trade deadline?
The Supersonics unit you're referring to?
Yes. It's the only one you cover. I know that
I'm seeing the ball move much quicker. They're getting down the floor quicker, and I think it's because it's a function of their 5-man. You're looking at a 22-year-old 7-footer who can sprint up and down the floor all night. I'm of course referring to Johan Petro.
Well, the short answer was good, but we'll take the long.
Will you take the long, Professor?
Yeah, and
I thought this was an essay quiz.
When we gave you an A+.
I was expounding. That's all. That's all I'm trying to do. To the line, Durant hits the free throw. Nothing against Kurt Thomas. He's going to do a wonderful job, a beautiful job for the San Antonio Spurs. But running was not his thing.
Well, if you are out there listening, Calabro gets an A for his response.
Here's Aldridge. Twists, turns, fires, and hits. And I mean, Petro was all over him like a cheap rayon suit that time.
Well, better than that.
Like one of those suits you wear, one of those $800 Gucci numbers. Here's Durant over to Petro, looking to cock it and rock it, and he is fouled. Brisbilla got it.
Last night, yes. Petro tried the same thing. Results were that Brisbilla got the ball and got the call. This time, he said, I got the ball, I get no call. He's headed for the bench, and into the game will come Channing Frye.
Who only played last night sparingly. I mean, under 2 minutes last night. He had a couple of fouls and never got into the game. Brisbella picks up his second, and now Petro will go to the line. Petro, the 25th pick in the draft 3 years ago, and a good selection as it's looking now for the Supersonics. Here, the jury's still out on Mohamed Sene. Obviously, he's in the D-League. He's a young,
out. It hasn't even been called yet.
Hadn't even been called. That's right. Jury hadn't even been assembled. Hadn't even been picked. And of course, Robert Swift. Unfortunately, we've got some news that is a little daunting there on Robert Swift. He is out tonight with what is being called a knee sprain, but it could be worse than that.
He's having some tough luck.
Yeah, pending the doctor's appraisal of that knee. He will not be playing tonight, but fill you in either tomorrow or Sunday on his stats. All right, the Sonics lead it 12-4.
You got two guys out there in Fry and Aldridge that almost have similar type of games. Aldridge is a little bit more physical. Channing Fry is a little bit more of a finesse player, but they both need to shoot the ball in order to play well. Aldridge gets his second hoop.
Oh, you see low. Across the middle comes Petro, and they say walk with a basketball in his haste to get to the rim.
Well, you know, again, we got international players playing the American game, and they got the shuffle that they get away with in the international game. They don't get away with it here.
Aldridge 6'11" and 240 in his second year out of Texas. Will come up out high along with Fry. Blake will get it back from Fry. 13 to shoot. Aldridge comes to the ball side. He wants it. Now he'll alternate.
Got a mismatch. Fry against Watson, and they don't take advantage of it. So now they're against the clock. 4 on the clock.
Jack will heave one. Durant will seize it. Out come the Sonics.
Durant had a tough start and finally started getting the game late last night, but they need to get Durant involved early and stay with him.
Earl off the screen, throws it across court in the long arms of Aldridge. Ahead to Roy. Jack up top. Aldridge with the flush. Few Blazer fans in the building tonight here in Seattle. Sonics lead it 12-4, 7-11 to go in the first.
Well, Aldridge turns the table. They try to drop one inside. Jeff Green had great position against Brandon Roy, but couldn't catch the ball. But it's been Aldridge that has brought them back. But when you leave your feet, you leave yourself exposed to a chance to make a turnover. That's what happened with Earl Watson.
Green, nice find on the inbounds. Watson outside for three, gunning and scoring. Green throws a fastball there to Watson. He was wide open and spotting for three. Sonics by 7. 5 minutes gone by in the opening quarter. Blake enters. Aldridge twists and make that Channing Fry. Twisting, turning, tried to step through, missed it. Rebound to Green. Wilcox, Fry on his hip. Backs and bumps, try to go up and under dead, and squeezes off a shot. A little push shot from 5 feet. Nice move. Sonics by 9. Wilcox very active after a very disappointing effort last night. PJ said he was not feeling well. Aldridge up top. The long J, no.
Well, that long jump shot should get the Sonics into a transition game. Get the ball, push it, and attack Portland before they can set up. Durant with the baseline open and see if he goes that way.
Hard left-hand dribble drive. Fry got a piece of it, tipping it off glass. Brandon Roy on the run. Muscles one to the glass. Blocked in the backflow by Green. Recovered by Petro. This is Durant from Watson. Wilcox the left hand. Off fingertips, out of control. Petro sets it up. And Watson will tee it up with 20 to shoot. Missed it bad. Roy the rebound, and Jack leaks out. Green's on his hip. Drops it to Aldridge for the slam.
Well, that's one thing Aldridge will do. He can run, and he'll run all night long. So if any of the Trailblazers are going to be in transition a lot, it's going to be LaMarcus Aldridge, and PJ wants to talk about it.
Aldridge has scored the last 8 Portland points. Good ball game early. 5:27 to play in the first, and the Sonics cling to the lead, 17-10. 5:27 left in the first, and the Sonics leading by 7. This game not for the faint of heart in the paint tonight. Snap, there are a lot of long guys that can run out there.
Well, you've got great athletes, and you've got people that can react well. Jeff Green is one of those, and he makes the save. And out of the save, again, the Sonics want for an early push, and that gives Earl Watson an opportunity to strike from deep. So the ball goes in, it comes back out. Watson a pretty good three-point shooter when he can get his feet set. He's 1 of 2 here early in the first quarter.
Sonics are out rebounding the Blazers 11-2. Points in the paint, 8-6 advantage. Earl Watson over the last couple of games on a tear, 18 of 26. And over the last 5, averaging 15 points and just under 10 assists per ball game. Let's go down to Jen Mueller joining us for the first time tonight on the big broadcast. Jen, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, guys. And I was just kind of listening into what PJ was telling the guys, and you already touched on it, how well they were playing when they were running the floor well. He wants them to pick up the speed and run it a little better. Damian Wilkins was also kind of coaching up Green a little bit, telling him how to run off those pick and rolls and set those screens a little bit better to make it more effective.
Collison in the lineup now. Thank you, Jen. 14 rebounds for Collison last night coming off the bench. Earl handling. Wilkins coming in now for the Supersonics as well. Long jump shot with 5 to shoot, running off into the hands of Martell Webster from here in Seattle, Washington.
Webster was a starter at the beginning of the season and had some really good moments. You know, he's a player that he struggles with his confidence, and his confidence is flattened out a little bit right now. He needs to see the ball go in.
Oh, the young man fires a 3 in and out, and Aldridge there to field it and flush it with 2 hands. The 6'11" second-year pro out of Texas is carrying the load. He's hit 5 of 7, and he has 10 for the Blazers, who pulled within 5 with 4:40 to play in the first quarter.
Well, Aldridge is doing his job. He's keeping the Blazers in the ball game with some activity plays.
Durant from the angle fires over Webster and hit it. And that 6'9" frame there allows him to see over the defense and just fly one up over Webster. Here's Webster, rocker steps, tried to drive, turned out by Durant, 12 to shoot. Aldridge checks the time. What the clock say? Turnaround jump hook, no. Tipped at the rim, Collison keeps it alive, but nobody to help him. Finally, Wilkins applies some wood on Fry, and Channing Frye, third-year pro from Arizona, goes to the line.
Well, the Blazers have not had a lot of second opportunity. PJ was not happy in the preseason game. In the first game they played Christmas Day, felt a little bit better about their rebounding last night, but, you know, that was his key. You know, limit the number of second chance points that the Trailblazers can get. Now, they got a tall front line, a very active front line with Fry and Aldridge. Webster's not so much a rebounder, but he will chase misses, so you just got to make sure you put a body on those 2 guys.
Fry part of that deal that sent Zach Randolph to New York City. I had a feeling Channing's going to have a nice long stay in Portland, and rumors that Zach Randolph was being peddled at the All-Star break. 3:56 to go, first quarter. Sonics by 6. Wilkins.
Here's a guy that needs to have a game. He's been playing well and couldn't get started last night. Collison gets the bounce.
Beautiful post move as he backs in on the slender Channing Frye. Blake the other way. Blake makes a hard cut off an Aldridge screen and gets a look at a banker on the move and knocks it down. Former Terrapins, Blake, 21-15 count. He was a college teammate of Chris Wilcox in that championship team.
Teammate of Juan Dixon. Dixon was the star of that tournament. Durant, short.
Rebound to Martell Webster. Webster went to school at Seattle Prep, and they didn't teach him that at Seattle Prep, taking steps. Not part of the curriculum. Turnover on the Blazers, their second, and Francisco Elson makes his first appearance tonight in a Sonic uniform. The 31-year-old Dutch-born 5th-year pro. 7 feet tall. Played at Denver in 1 year.
You know what you do as a new player?
What's that?
Get out of the way.
Durant tries inside.
Just get out of the way and let me do what I do. We'll put you in a spot where you can feel comfortable. You know, we saw how uncomfortable a guy can look when he changes uniforms. And we saw Phoenix play against the Lakers, and Shaq was having problems in that first half, figuring out where he needs to be. Same thing for Kevin Durant.
Oh, that was gorgeous. Steered one up over Aldridge. 2:49 to go, first quarter. Sonics lead 23-15. Aldridge on the post, challenged by Elson. Nice bang. In it comes to Roy for the 2-handed slam.
First hoop of the night for Brandon Roy, and again, the most dangerous place is a cut to the basket. Not enough teams have motion with players cutting to the basket, passing ball in there. The big item that's come to play in the college game and the pro game as well is spacing for three-point shooting, but you need to score. You always score more two-point field goals than you do three-point field goals, so why do you spend all of your time trying to set up the three?
Well, and spacing will help you make those cuts as well. I mean, that obviously was a clear out, and Roy comes from the weak side. Pow, he's there to make the reception and the jam. Aldridge checks out, and in will come Travis Outlaw. This kid is absolutely fun to watch. Outlaw does it all when he's out on the court. And he's a big-time clutch player, too. He's buried some big shots in the first half of the season for the Portland Trailblazers.
In that stretch of winning 13, Outlaw was a big moment player for them in the closing seconds. What Outlaw gives them is a guy with an offensive attitude coming off the bench. If he's in, I'm shooting. You know, I'm attacking. I'm going to try to make something happen. He's a high flyer, and he's playing with a lot of confidence, and I'm happy to see it for him because for 3 years, he basically was lost.
Watson fakes the three, sells it to Jack up the middle, little backhand flip, no volley by the Supes. Wilkins in the trees, brings it out, looks, fires, scores. Nice play. Sonics shooting 50% snap, and the Blazers are 8 for 20, 40%.
Well, the Blazers are primarily a jump shooting team. Defensively, Nate likes them to be more aggressive at the point of attack, and to this point, they're able to move the ball more. Outlaw. First shot.
Defended well by Collison. A shove called on the reception in there by Webster. This will work against the Sonics.
You know, second chance points are critical to the Sonics as well, and this time after the Watson miss, Damian Wilkins clears. He thought he had a three. You know, nothing's worse than having your foot on the line and getting 2 points for it. But, you know, Wilkins is starting to play better. I mean, he went down, and it took a little while to recover his confidence. Blocked by Elson.
Wilkins trying to bust out of the pack. Two defenders pecking away at it. Elson receives it, bounces to Jellible. 1:20 left in the first quarter. So they
got a mismatch for Elson. They need to drop the ball in there. You don't need to know a play. Just jump over Martell Webster.
Back spin and fade. That's what Webster wanted. Off the mark. Rebound Travis Outlaw.
But that's a shot. That's a shot that Elson could make a great deal of time in, particularly in a mismatch.
Jack up top. Wilkins seals it. Watson on the run ahead of Jelly. Mikhail Jelliball in the lineup. Wilkins off the Collison screen for the baseline fade. Oh, he's got it rolling. Wilkins coming off the bench with 4 points, 5 rebounds, and the Sonics open up their largest lead up a dozen.
And it's also something to be said for having not to look over your shoulder. You know, when Wally was here, he was getting the call, and Damian wasn't. Tough shot for Brandon Roy.
Backs down the shot and watches as he lands on the floor on his backside. Wilkins faces up on Martell Webster. Clear out the left side for him.
Well, you don't want to go in the direction of help. You want to go away from it. He spins away, but not the best shot he could have found. Collison with the save. No.
Good hustle plays. He fights off Fry for possession, but landed out of bounds. So the Blazers will have it with 15 and 3/10 seconds left. Sonics competing here with a 10-point lead.
Well, this is what they wanted to see. They wanted to see a young, energetic team. And that's what we've seen here in the first quarter. 29 points up on the scoreboard. That's been an outstanding and a very efficient first quarter of play.
Brandon Roy opens up the floor and drives in deep. Jack at the buzzer. That will not count. That should not count. They'll review it, but it appeared from here as if the ball left his hand late. We'll take a look at the replay, as the officials will also. What about it, Snap?
Still in his hand.
Yep.
You can see that all the way from Butler Fieldhouse.
Sonics sleep on the Blazers, literally, just like that. Reminded me of that old Chris Farley routine Saturday Night Live with David Spade when he breaks the coffee table, but that's for another day. The key of game reset. Field goal shooting, Portland 38%, Sonics 48%, rebounding total 17-9. The Sonics destroying the Blazers on the glass. Second chance points, 6-3. Sonic advantage.
Well, Sonics come out with the new unit: Collison, Rittenauer, Wilkins, Elson, and Jellaball. And Portland has put in Rodriguez with Outlaw, Webster, Jared Jack, and Ray LaFrance. They're going small and hoping that somehow they can get control of the speed game of the Sonics. Turnover, Damian Wilkins.
And Rodriguez on the push. We'll circle it outside. Sonics fill the paint. 16 to shoot for the Blazers. The Blazers' average age on this team, 24 years. Youngest in the NBA. Their oldest player is on the floor in Ray LaFrance. Here's Webster. Right out of high school. Jared Jack had some seasoning at Georgia Tech. He'll drive and find Rodriguez for three. LaFrance the rebound. Put back, he blew it. Rebound tipped, and Rittenauer with it.
Well, when they originally got Ray LaFrance, they thought he was going to be a guy that could stretch the defense and that they would be able to get some three-point shooting for him. But he has suffered a lot of injuries all last season. He had a torn calf, couldn't get himself into it, and looks like what they hoped for may never happen.
Jared Jack on the drive, knocked to the floor. And the foul is on Francisco Elson. Second on Francisco, who let fly on a deep jumper the last trip down the floor.
No, he's a jump shoot, but he's a jump shooting center, and
that'll take some getting used to over here.
Well,
7-footer shooting early on the clock. You know me, I'm old school, pal. I'm just saying.
If it goes in, you know what you're saying? Oh, what a beauty! Outlaw from the corner.
29-21, 10:35 to go in the second period. Blazers in a zone. 2-3, Elson in the middle of it. 14 to shoot. Luke goes to work. Beats Rodriguez. Little running right hand flip. Beauty.
Well, Luke had some moments in last night's ball game. Hit 3 3-pointers. You know, I still think that he can be more assertive and more aggressive. And when he does that, the team follows his lead. So we'll find out whether he can keep that kind of aggressive play up.
Watson was terrific. 7 points, 2 assists, 3 rebounds. Now the baton is handed to Rittenauer. Outlaw in the lane. Bothered by Elson. He missed the shot. And a foul called on the Blazers. This is on Ray LaFrance.
You know, Francisco Elson is very quick and reacts well and does a good job against Outlaw. Outlaw is going to go right 99% of the time. So if you plan for that right hand and stay with him, it's a tougher shot for him to pull up and make. Portland in the zone.
Wilcox back in. He's down deep looking for it. Jellaball will take it. Fires the three. From it. Miguel Jellaball with a three-pointer. And the Sonics lead by 13. They're shooting 50% for the night.
Well, the one thing that Jelly needed was some playing time. He got it down in the D League, and that kind of got his confidence up. We've been talking about his stroke. It's a very good one. But if you don't shoot it with some authority, a lot of times coaches lose confidence in you. Luke on the drive.
Got it up over Rodriguez, hung on the rim. Portland the other way. Sergio holding. He's got a mohawk thing going. He's a little Damon Jones action. But Damon's had an influence on the younger players in the league.
The mohawk is the in cut. It's a nasty looking haircut.
Not again. We were done with that tonight. Jack hand stuff to the France. The ball stripped. Look what it did to me. You youngsters out there. There it is.
See, had you started the other way around.
Is that a mohawk or just a bad hair night?
No. You know,
see what will happen to you young folks out there? You mess around with your hair, dude. Just let it grow.
Well, you know, the only thing left for you to do is just to let it all come off.
No, I just can't bring myself to do it. Here's LaFrance, and he hits. Watson's coming back into the fray for the Soups. A very short stay on the bench for Earl, who played all 12 minutes of the first quarter. And LaFrance, the left-hander out of Kansas, steps back to the line. Sonics up by 12. Short stint for Ridnour out on the floor. Here's Wilkins. Watson handling with 18 to shoot. Swings it to Wilkins for three. Oh, Damian has it dialed in tonight. 3 for 6, 7 points and 5 rebounds.
You know, he went over to Wally and said, "Let me borrow the Z channel. You don't need it. You don't need it anymore." And Calabro still needs to talk about it. So let me have it.
That's a public channel now. That's up for grabs. LaFrentz high screen. Roy may have turned it over. Crowd thought so. Yeah. Jabbed away from LaFrentz by Watson. He ends up with it. Look at the pass up the floor. Scoops it to Wilkins. And Wilcox there to clean up the mess with a two-handed jam. Boy, the Sonics are bringing it tonight. 8:21 to go in the second, and they take a 16-point lead.
So maybe they should have made this trade at the start of the season. Because they're playing like a team that's committed to having a chance to roll into the playoffs. And we know that isn't going to happen, but it's been an aggressive and fun team to watch.
Well, the Sonics are off to a terrific start in this ball game. 39-23, shooting 50% after a 38% outing last night against the Portland Trailblazers. Damian Wilkins coming off the bench with some pop. He is our Marine Corps leader of the game.
Well, Damian, you know, again, he doesn't have to worry about looking over his shoulder now. He's playing with a lot more freedom and a lot more confidence. The results are the ball is going in. He's more assertive at the defensive end. He's inactive trying to rebound the ball. And that's how you play ball. And that's how he had that 41-point game down in Atlanta. So we may be having a little deja vu for Damian.
Deja vu all over again. Career against Portland, 13 games, 10 points, nearly 3 rebounds, and shooting 52% from the field. In fact, it was one particular game down in Portland, his second year in the league, that really caught everybody's attention when he lit up the Portland Trailblazers with a tremendous defensive display. Sonics now on the defensive end. Watch as Brandon Roy goes to work on Jeff Green. Steps back and fades.
Well, there's a guy that stops the bleeding. Whenever they get in trouble, they go to Brandon Roy, and you got to be prepared for it. He's going to make shots, but if you make him work for it, that's all you can do at the defensive end. Don't get too carried away that you get beat and start dropping your head.
Roy with a half dozen. Wilcox.
Right here, you should have a cutter. They don't have one. Wilcox goes on his own. Jelly ball.
Oh, look at Jelly digging out of the traffic. And swings it to Watson. They reset the floor.
Problem with half-court offense for the Sonics has been that they become stagnant. They become perimeter. Jelly ball for three.
Look at that shooting form. He's hit 2 threes coming off the bench. He and Wilkins have combined for 5 of 9 shooting and 13 points off the bench.
Nobody is happier to see Jelly out on the floor than you are. I mean, you have been pushing for him since he arrived last year. Get Jelly some playing time. Now, you put some peanut butter on this.
The three he misses. Long rebound to Watson. Jelly on the right, fills the lane, through the foul, and got a shot up there that rolls off. And that's what the Sonics envision, and that's why I think Jellyball could play a player at this level, because he's got quickness and length, and he can shoot the basketball.
Well, you know, he's better than you think he is, but he's also a guy that needs a pat on the back.
Yeah.
And, you know, he has to be encouraged to do the things that he can do well. Now they're in a position where he has to respond. He's not going to get the quick hook, and he's going to get the result. Going to the D-League, and he averaged 17 when he was down there, I think it gave him some confidence. Hey, I can still play this game. You know, it's a difficult thing to believe when you sit, and never get in a game, and then if you're in the game, you're in for a short period of time. Players don't want to make a mistake. Coaches don't want to make a mistake, and so you don't get the production out of the players you need. 2 for Jellyball. 8 in the quarter.
He's 24 snaps, 6'7", and of course in his second year in the NBA, and hails from Guadeloupe, where Mikhail Petrus and Ronnie Turieff come from. The chain of islands there off the Dominican Republic. Oh yes, the geography lesson will come later. Here's Brandon Roy from right here in Seattle, driving into the lane, is ripped to the ball, fouled, and Brandon Roy will head to the free throw line. The Blazers 3 of 4 up there. The Sonics are 8 of 8 from the line. The Sonics clearly have been the aggressors thus far in Seattle tonight. Both the Huskies and the Cougars are coming off big Pac-10 wins yesterday evening, and they look to continue that success tomorrow on FSN. Washington takes on Arizona State at 3, and then it's the Washington State Cougars doing battle with the Arizona Wildcats at 7. The intensity of Pac-10 basketball ratchets up tomorrow right here on FSN.
Now for the final 6:48, the Blazers are going to give the Sonics a steady diet of 2 guys, Brandon Roy, LaMarcus Aldridge. So they got to be prepared to make it difficult for those guys to score the ball. Wilcox deep.
He's had his way down there getting shots up and missed this one. Prisbilla saddled with 2 early fouls back in the lineup. Brandon Roy checked by Jelleball. On the Aldridge screen, he is doubled. Cross-court kick to the point, and Blake. Back they swing it. Roy will show it and drive. Running right-hander, no. Rebound gathered in by Petro. Quick outlet midcourt.
Here comes Jeff Green.
Drives to Prisbilla's chest and a foul. This one will be whistled on Green.
You know, Jeff has had some difficulty in finding his way in the open court. Instead of going away from, he comes right to Joel Prisbilla, picks up the foul. So he's got to figure out how to finish and get around people rather than come right to them.
And he's got a pull-up 5'10" footer. He showed that at Georgetown, and he has shown it at times this year. That is definitely in his repertoire. Here's Aldridge. Backs into Petro, and Petro draws the bump on Aldridge and sells the call, and the Sonics get it back. Dave McMillan upset about that one. 17-point lead for the Sonics. They take it right back.
You know, the attitude is to compete tonight, and they've done a good job. Yeah, the arm came out, and that's actually what got him the call, because
Sonics basketball on FSN is brought to you by the Emerald Queen Hotel and Casino, welcoming country music outlaw Travis Tritt this Sunday. For more information, emeraldqueen.com. By your Western Washington Toyota dealers, moving you forward. And by Money Tree, your cash solution. Well, we mentioned the early departure of Luke Ridnour a moment ago. The word on Luke is that he got popped in the nose, taking care of some bleeding there. And Jen Mueller, what can you add to that?
Yeah, guys, he kind of slipped out, and he's coming back on right now. It just took him a little while, I think, to get the bleeding stopped, to clean up the blood off the uniform, but there's really nothing wrong. He went up for that rebound earlier and got popped pretty good, and now he's coming back and should be good to go for the rest of the half.
Thank you. Earl Watson in the meantime, logging in 15 minutes, 7 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, and Ridnour back on the bench. Sonics with the handle. Wilcox drives in, protects the ball with the left hand, swings up the right-handed runner, missed it. Prisbilla's outlet to Jack gets away, and the Blazers' 4th turnover. The Sonics lead by 17. Their largest lead has been 19 points.
They got to keep their foot to the pedal, continue to move the ball, move the personnel aggressively and quickly. You're going to get chances to score and score easily. Durant back in the game with Wilcox, Jeff Green, Petro, and Earl Watson.
Durant with a half dozen tonight. Swings over to Green, working off the Wilcox screen, straightens and fires. Petro steps out for the rebound. Sonics reload. They have destroyed the Blazers on the glass, 24-14 tonight. Watson with it.
Well, you wouldn't think that 180 miles would make that much difference. That pass was telegraphed, and Jared Jack stepped in and got a piece of it, and in trying to save it, Durant touched it last.
Sonics turnover snapped their 7th.
Well, that's one of the few times that they've been tentative at the offensive end about where they wanted to go with the ball and why. Brandon Roy.
12 to shoot. Petro steps out and got a piece of Blake. And that foul's on Shohan. 2nd on Petro.
You know, for big guys, they should never waste that foul. If you're going to step out there and turn them back the other way. Don't step out there, let them get into you, and then they'll act as though they've been knocked off balance.
Outlaw will bring it in bounds. Travis Outlaw in his 5th year, 23rd pick in the 03 draft out of Starkville, Mississippi High School. Only played 8 games his rookie year. Here's Blake now to the baseline, 5 to shoot. Grazed the iron. Loose ball. Petro digging for it. Jabbed away by Prisbilla, out of bounds. It'll be Sonic basketball.
Rodney Mott very calm, saying, yes, you did touch it last, and so it will be Sonic's ball.
Petro with 4 rebounds in 13 minutes, getting his 10th start of the year.
Well, we saw Petro coming, though. I mean, ever since he had that 22-point game, Petro has played with a lot more confidence. Durant spoons in and out.
Brandon Roy to bring it out of backcourt. 3 of 6, 8 points for Brandon. Sudden move off the screen. Brisbilla rolls, and Petro clipped it. So Petro's coming out. Actually, that's just his second foul. 4:19 left in the second, so he more than likely will stay in there. He glances back at the Sonic bench.
Well,
Seattle by 17.
So much for your coaching.
Yeah, here comes Collison.
You would leave him, and the real coach said no.
Brisbilla misses the free throw. It's time for tonight's steal of the game, and it puts you at the key for an all-star lineup of Wednesday matchups. You'll see Carmelo and the Nuggets, Steve Nash, Shaq and the New Look Suns, Caron Butler and the Wizards, and the LA Clippers. Get 4 tickets, $100 value for just $40. But hurry, the offer limited to the first 50 callers and is only available by calling 206-283-DUNK until the end of the third quarter. Some derisive cheers from the fans as Brisbilla goes 0 for 2. Here's Watson. He knocks down a jump shot off the screen. And the Sonics own the 19-point lead again with 4:04 left in the first half.
Well, the reason for the boos, one was an air ball, one was long, but, you know, Joel Brisbilla's worked long and hard at improving his stroke. And he was shooting it better earlier in the season. Blake gets 2 chances, can't get it down.
Aldridge recovers and his putback rolls off. Collison fouled him. First foul on Nick. So that was a good coaching move there. If that's Petro, that's his third, and now you're in trouble. That's a good move right there.
Oh, so you defer to the coach?
Well, I should know better than that. He's a young player. You got with 2 fouls, you got to yank him immediately. I mean, you saw what Nate did with Brisbilla. He picked up 2 fouls in the first 3 minutes, and the veteran, he's gone. I'm still learning stuff.
After all this time.
That's right. You can always learn something. Where's Aldridge at the line?
The fact that you're open-minded is a good thing.
Okay. Aldridge 2 for 2. He has a dozen. 17-point lead now for the Sonics.
You know how they give you grades in college and sometimes they just say passing. Watson pushes off. He had him beat. All he had to do was just wait as Blake was off balance. That arm coming out makes it look like he pushed Blake away. Here comes Rittenhour.
Second foul on Earl. Rittenhour will come back onto the floor.
So we can put you in the category of pass or fail.
Pass fail, yeah.
So you pass that time.
Big fan of the pass fail. Sonics have Wilcox, Collison, Durant, Rittenhour, and Green out on the floor. 18 to shoot. They march Aldridge up high to get a lick on Durant, try to free Roy.
Well, they want that combination, Aldridge and Roy, to handle the ball because those are their primary scorers. Roy with the tough drive.
Nice rip. Collison takes it from Aldridge. Out ahead to Rittenhour. Behind the back flip to the trailer. It was Durant, who I think had slowed down and wanted to spot up. Jabbed away by the Blazers. Out of bounds. Sonic ball.
Luke saw him at the last minute. He was looking at Jeff Green flying down the left side of the floor, and it looked as though if he could get that ball to Durant, Durant was going to have a throwdown.
Collison straightens, misses. Here come the Blazers, shooting 30% for this game. Sonics shooting 45. Aldridge at one point had scored 8 straight points for the Blazers. He's been the money man tonight. He's fouled before the shot. Portland has missed their last 7 shots. Aldridge leads them with 12 points and 4 rebounds to a Blazer timeout. With 2:58 remaining in the first half. Our score, the Sonics 46 and the Blazers 29. Sonics by 17, 2:58 to go here in the second quarter of play. Steve Snapper Jones, Kevin Calabro, Jen Mueller working the case here in Seattle. Time now for our Geico quote of the game. It comes from the Sonics general manager Sam Presti, who traded Kurt Thomas to San Antonio for the 31-year-old fifth-year pro Francisco Elson. Is it easier to trade to an organization you have come from, Sam?
Probably there's two sides of that. One, obviously, relationships are good in this business when you can pick the phone up and kind of cut through things. At the same time, you probably know a little bit too much about what's going on the other side. And as competitive as we all are in the business, sometimes that it can be tough. But I'm trying to do the best that I can for our organization, and they're trying to do the best that they can for theirs.
And R.C. Buford took his call. He did some business with San Antonio. Danny Ferry, who was at San Antonio for years, took his call up in Cleveland, and they did some business as well. Here's Aldridge at the line.
Well, it's known as the Cowboy Way. And Rittenauer was the guy that was responsible for making that save. Aldridge has got 3 1/4, 13 in the game. Sonics need to score right here. They want to keep the momentum going at the offensive end. Durant against Aldridge.
Durant 6'9", Aldridge 6'11", and Durant pops from the angle. He loves that little angle elbow jumper. He's hit 3 of 8, has 8 points.
But the NBA is all about knowing where your money is and taking the shots that you're going to have the greatest chance of being successful with. And that is a shot that is going to be there for Kevin Durant for many, many years to come. Outlaw with a miss.
And the Blazers shooting horribly here in the second quarter. Rittenauer, long lead pass to Durant. He could not gather it in. Out of bounds. Portland ball.
Brady, Randy Moss. Randy Moss would have got that ball. What were you thinking? You got to catch the ball before you can dunk it.
Took his eyes off of it. Roy spaces out on the wing. Checked by the length of Durant. Out it comes to Blake. Kicks to Outlaw for 3. Bang. Travis Outlaw.
There's one thing about Travis. If he's out there, I'm shooting.
Yep.
So as long as you keep throwing it to me, I'm shooting. It's up to the coach to take him out. He's had great results for Portland this year. So McMillan's confidence to stay with them is much higher. Damian Wilkins trying to come back.
Collison, long rebound. Durant, the 15-footer. That's short. Follows his own miss. Leans in off balance. A tweener. No. Tapped up. No. Volleyed and controlled by Prisbilla. Here comes Roy. He's running. He has Aldridge with him. Rittenauer turns him outside. Blake's got a 3 in his sights. Missed it. Rebound Roy. Nice pass. Aldridge steps up and slams it. And the Blazers on a march. They're on an 8-0 run. And now they're jumping up and down in front of their bench. Trying to close here with 1:14 to go in the second. The Sonics call a timeout with a 13-point lead.
Well, the unfortunate thing is Durant does not get any of his makes at the other end. He had good opportunities, and it turned out to be a running opportunity for Brandon Roy and LaMarcus Aldridge, and they closed to 13. Blake with a miss. Roy, who had big rebounding night last night, comes back and then leaves it for Aldridge to clean up. Now, the one thing about Aldridge, he will not turn down anything close to the rim.
Nor should he. 6'11" and long as a summer day. Aldridge 4 dunks. The Blazers have 5. So Aldridge is shaken loose. 6 of 9. He has 15 points. Brandon Roy is 3 for 7, and the Sonics have switched Durant at 6'9" over on Brandon Roy, and it's kind of contained him. They need a bucket now, though, because the Blazers are rolling.
Well, they need a hoop right now. You got 1:12 left in the game. Blake comes out. Jack goes in the ball game for the Blazers. So you got to, again, you got to show some confidence in Kevin Durant. He's your leading scorer. You got to get him the ball, give him a chance to go to work against Travis Outlaw.
Here's Rittenauer with it, coming over the top of the Collison screens. 14 to shoot. Muscles his way inside. Nice handoff to Elson. Went up, had it blocked, and a jump ball call.
A good penetration and a good find for Elson, but he brought the ball back. You know, coaches will always tell you, take it out in front. Expose the defense and put the pressure on the official to make the call.
Here's the tip, directed toward the sideline. Roy will catch, but he stepped out of bounds. Tommy Nunez had the sideline covered from backcourt. And a good heads-up call by the officials. Seattle will take it back with 1 minute even remaining.
The long tip, and Brandon Roy just, feet are too big. Slid right over the line.
Portland has 6 turnovers here in the second. Wilkins will bring it in bounds. Collison with ready hands comes to the ball. Seattle leading by 13. They've led by as many as 19. Durant drives up under the rim, fouled by LaFrentz. Durant with a hard dribble drive has attempted 2 shots at the line tonight, and he's hit them both.
Well, you know, they've got to make sure that they keep him in the game and get his offensive confidence back to where it should be. He goes too many stretches where he doesn't touch the ball, and then when he misses, he gets frustrated, gets that one to bounce in.
Durant averages 19 points a game. He has logged in 33 minutes per contest in 52 games now.
Elson out, Wilcox in. 50.4 seconds left in the half.
Kevin drills them both, and the Supes lead by 15. 49 seconds left in the second. Sonic free throws 10 of 10. Brandon Roy.
Now, if you're defending Brandon Roy, the best thing that you can do is go to him. Don't let him come to you because he'll change directions. He'll change his pace on the dribble. 3 on 2. Ooh.
Slams it down the chute. Sonics lead it by 17, and the crowd on their feet with 24 seconds left in the first half. Durant again draws the assignment on Roy. Aldridge pops out. One more pass. Outlaw. Another 3. He hit his second of the quarter. Sonics bring it up.
8 in the quarter for Outlaw. And as I said, if he's out there, he's going to shoot it. So you got to make sure that you have somebody around him.
14-point Sonic lead. Durant will hold for the last shot. Here it is. Nope. Rebound tipped, and that ends the first half of play. 1 half in the books here in Seattle, and the Sonics hold the Blazers to 33% shooting and 38 points on their way to a 14-point lead, Snap.
Well, it's a big rebound and an early push. Luke Rittenauer takes a little look behind him, and you know what thunder is? It's Chris Wilcox on the break.
That sure is, man. Cocked it, and he rocked it. That's our half. Sonics 52, Blazers 38. Snap returns in a moment with Jen Mueller right here on FSN.
On February 29th,
4 teams will be absorbed into the NBA next year.
yes! For this team to go pro, they've got to eat right.
There's nothing in the rule book that says you can't play drunk.
Colorado sour all game long.
Sleep tight.
Buddy, wake up. What is that? Pancake.
And train hard.
We are running this until we puke.
I've never puked in my life. Have you ever been punched in the jejunum?
What's the jejunum? Semi-pro. February 29th, only in theaters.
Welcome back to Key Arena and Jack in the Box Sonics at the half. The Seattle Sonics leading their I-5 rivals 52-38 thanks to some great defense. Rittenauer leads it for Chris Wilcox there. The Sonics giving the fans something to cheer about. There's a lot to see tonight at Key Arena. Like these guys, the halftime entertainment. Wow, that has got to take some skill, some agility, some strength, and I got to think a lot of concentration out there, which is exactly what the Sonics are displaying tonight. And Steve Napper-Jones is going to join me now. And Steve, I know that you like offense. You talk about it all the time, but you got to give the Sonics defense a little bit of credit. They played really well last night in Portland, and so far in this game, they're doing a pretty good job too.
Well, they've done a good job of contesting shots. If you're playing against a team like Portland, which is a half-court team primarily, it's a jump shooting team, you got to contest the jump shots. They're making Portland make the extra pass, and as a result, they've been able to get the ball and run it. They've been reacting well to the passing for the most part. Interior defense has been good. Defense is all about attitude. You got to have the right attitude to be consistently a good defensive team. And since everybody believes that all you do is play defense and you win games, there you have it. You and Mary Jane up there in that Fox Lounge are having a good time.
Now we're absolutely having a great time in the FSN HD Lounge. Let's take a look at the Jack in the Box first half leaders. That goes to the Sonics defense. Just 38 points allowed. They're allowing 33% field goal shooting, just 4 fast break points allowed. Look at that rebound margin and the turnovers forced. Great defense tonight from the Sonics. When we come back, we've got some great games from around the league. Coach P.J. Carlissimo wants more offensive rebounds. Damian Wilkins listening tonight. He's got the boards. Sonics have the lead 52-38 at the half. We're back with more on the Jack in the Box Sonics at the half. We are are live at Key Arena in beautiful downtown Seattle, where the Sonics lead the Blazers 52-38. It's a great game tonight, and there's a great one coming up on Sunday. Kobe Bryant and the Lakers come to town. You are going to watch all the action on FSN. Game time starts at 6. Make sure you join us, because we'll be back here, and we want you to be back here too. Now let's take a look at some great games from around the league tonight. Got 3 big ones going on. Houston beats New Orleans 100-80, led by 34 points from Tracy McGrady. 20 points from David West leads the Hornets. Atlanta leads Golden State right now at the half, 68-50. Baron Davis pumping in 19 for Golden State. Joe Johnson 17. Phoenix leading Boston in the second quarter. Take a look at that score. Amari Stoudemire leading the Suns with 12 right now. When we come back here on the Jack in the Box Sonics at the half, we're talking to Coach Mark Bryant and breaking down the second half. When we come back, Sonics lead 52-38 at the break.
Welcome back to Sonics at the half, brought to you by Jack in the Box. Sonics leading by 14. Why? Because they were the aggressors beginning this game. They got out on an 8-0 run.
You know, I think they saw last night that when they ran the ball, they had a great chance of scoring against Portland's defense before it got set. And Earl Watson set the tone early. They were aggressive and looking to get those scoring chances. And I think when they come back in the third quarter, they got to go back to that first quarter game plan. Try to rebound the ball, push it out. All right, let's go to Jen Mueller.
Well, I'm with Sonics assistant Mark Bryant. And Coach, I know that you guys want to run the ball in the second half, but that seems pretty easy. What needs to happen to keep that tempo up?
I think they need to keep that tempo up. We got to keep first of all, we got to keep them off their offensive boards. They're killing us on the boards. We got to keep Aldridge off the boards, these guys off the boards. I think once we get a defense, a rebound, we need to take off right away, because that's our strength, running the ball.
All right, we'll look for that in the second half, Coach. Thanks. And guys, we've talked about that, and I know that Coach P.J. Carlissimo's kind of yelled at the guys, too, about getting off the schneid on those offensive boards. He wants a few more of them.
Well, Sonics have 12 second chance points. Sonics lead the Blazers 11-7.
Well, you know, you can talk about offensive rebounding, but the only way you can become a good offensive rebounding team is to know when the shot's going to come up. If you're surprised by your own teammate's shot, you have a tough time getting back to get the rebound. So what you want to do at the defensive is make sure that you challenge the shooter, and then everybody box and go. And at the other end, make sure you know when the shot's coming up. That way you can offensive rebound.
You know what time it is? It's time for the Volkswagen halftime stats. That's what time it is. Take a look. We got a new sponsor tonight. Volkswagen, 19 of 45, 42% the Sonics. The Blazers, 33%, 14 of 42. Free throw shooting, Blazers 8 for 12, Sonics 10 of 10. Three-point shooting, Seattle 4 of 5. Travis Outlaw has hit 2. And the Blazers trailing in the rebounding totals 30-21, with the Sonics 10 turnovers and the Blazers 7.
Again, the watchword for the Sonics in this half will be to maintain their aggressiveness. They can't become a slow-down team. First thing you want to do at the offensive end is exploit your mismatches. Durant against Jaren Jack, they get a whistle right away, but you want to take advantage of that size mismatch. If Jack is going to be out there guarding Durant, make him pay.
Fouls on Brandon Roy. That is his first. Green, Wilcox, Petro, Durant, and Watson for the Sonics to open up this third period. Green will get it to bounce to Petro. Watson will take over. Petro will screen out high on Blake. 9 to shoot. Watson turns the corner, gets into the paint. Little lob up top. Petro with 2 hands throws it down on the follow.
Petro saw that lane open up. He was chasing all the way, and a good finish for him. Looking for Aldridge inside.
Jaren Jack handling. Now Roy off the screen. Got a good look. Missed it. Petro after it. Tips it. Wilcox to Watson. To Durant. One man to beat. Sidesteps Blake. slithers in and feathers it up and in.
We know one more fast break, there's going to be a timeout.
56-38 count. They're going to have to hit the buzzer because the scoreboard is wrong. The buzzer went off. They should stop play. We've got a mechanical here. The clock did not stop, and the scoreboard isn't registering the last two Sonic scores. The score should read 56-38. Seattle up 18.
The score is not working. That's good.
You know, that must go along with that Volkswagen deal you cut this afternoon. You are all over time, management, and money. And when I see you in that Volkswagen tomorrow, I'll know why.
Me and that little bug, that little 5-speed bug.
Up there, it's up there, right there.
Or the microbus. It kind of suits my personality as well.
I don't know, when you do that gardening like you did all day today, it certainly does.
Gardening will kill you.
Well, when you get a team that's jump shooting, you get a chance to rebound, and that rebound comes out long, then you got to push. This time they get an aggressive push and a big finish for Kevin Durant. This is the way that they started the game as the officials get the time straightened out. And you got to remember, this is your strength. This is where you play your best basketball. Mark Bryant alluded to it with Jen Mueller. We got to rebound better, and then we got to run, because that's what we do better than anything else.
Dodge hustle board. 13-9 offensive rebound advantage held by the Sonics. 13-7 second chance advantage, and an 8-4 fast break advantage held by the Sonics. This is the 91st meeting between these two teams in the history of the franchises. The Sonics coming in the expansion year of '67, and the Blazers joined it in '70-71. The Sonics have won 96. The Blazers have won 94. That's uncanny.
96-94, it's a two-game difference, and the Sonics want to make it 3. They get a good break with the screen out of bounds call. So Portland has yet to crack as we started the third quarter of play.
Watson will feed to Wilcox on the block. Watson will run through to give him a little room. He'll go to work on Prisbilla. Can't sell the step through, and instead forces up a shot. Jack with the rebound. Brandon Roy, checked by Durant. Durant using his 6'9" length on him. Aldridge working on Petro.
What they will try to do is live off of the offensive efforts of Brandon Roy and Aldridge. They get a nice pass into Joe Prisbilla. He dumps it down over the top, his first 2 points of the night.
10-12 to play in the third. Sonics leading by 16. Durant outside, long hoist. Aldridge seals off Petro for the rebound, and the Blazers now in business. Jack eyeballing Aldridge, who will come high to screen.
Well, you know, they're standing around a lot, which is going to end up with them shooting the ball against the clock. Roy with a miss.
Oh, badly missed. Roy 3 for 10. Durant long pass up in the front court to Green.
Well, he has a couple of things ailing him right now. One of them is a viral infection. The other, he's got a sore heel. 10 on the clock. Nice pass.
Wilcox banged as he tried to drive into the lane. In the third thing Roy is working against him tonight, that man right there, Kevin Durant at 6'9".
Well, they play a nice little two-man game, and it shows some of the versatility of Kevin Durant. A lot of people think that he is only a scorer, but he is a willing passer. But the only way you're going to get it is to cut, and I think that Wilcox will learn that as the season progresses. Now that the offense is more open, it's quicker, Durant will make more of those kinds of plays.
Last night, the Sonics did not take care of the free throw line. They were 20 of 31, 64%. Tonight, by contrast, the Soups are 12 for 12. And Wilcox, who really struggled last night, has a decent game going tonight with 10 and 5. Jarrett Jack nearly gave it away. Aldridge.
They're doing a good job of making Portland pass the ball around the perimeter and have to shoot against the clock. Aldridge takes a look at it, trying to back his way in.
Nice two-man defense. Watson and Petro. Roy found the loose ball but missed the turnaround shot. Green the other way.
That was almost a heroic save because they had no chance against the clock, and Roy still got it up. Jeff Green yet to find that jump shot, and that's a part of his game. He's got to be able to expand on and deliver.
Aldridge fouled on the handoff from Roy. Fouls on Wilcox. That is the second on Chris Wilcox.
What you can't do against Brandon Roy is go to sleep. When you think you got him stopped, he's looking to pass the ball. That's what happened on that play. They thought they had him contained and under control, and the next thing you know, it's in Aldridge's hands and they got a foul.
It's time now for the steal of the game, and it puts you at the key for an all-star lineup of Wednesday matchups. You'll see Carmelo and the Nuggets. That's coming up next week. And then Steve Nash, Shaq, and the new look Suns. Caron Butler and the Wizards on another Wednesday, and then Ralph Lawler and the Los Angeles Clippers on another Wednesday.
Ralph Lawler.
That's right. Get 4 games at $100 value for just $40. But hurry, the offer limited to the first 50 callers and available by calling 206-283-DUNK.
43-30 Suns over Boston. Boston has lost the first 2 games on this current road trip out west. So even though Garnett has returned, they have not found winning on the road to their liking, and they have one of the best road records in the league.
Watson up top. Aldridge hauls it down. Sonics leading by 16. B. Roy in the front court. He's hit 3 for 11 for the game. Drives and kicks. Blake looks off defenders, missed a shot. Aldridge pushing all the way inside. Loose ball foul on Aldridge of Portland, and that is the 3rd on LaMarcus Aldridge.
Sarge, as he's known down in Portland, not Mr. Sonic, is trying to encourage his team.
His son Jamel is in town with Arizona State.
Wonder if he's at the game tonight.
Durant holding. Double. 8 to shoot. Green looking for that Jimmy, isn't he?
He needs to see that shot go in. He's had some games this season where he's consistently made it, but it hasn't happened here. A late night steal from Earl Watson.
Robs Roy, heads the other way. Running right-hander, missed it. Thought he was fouled. Loose
Petro
ball
over
foul.
the top.
On Petro, his 3rd. Look at Watson, the thief.
Well, you know, Watson is just a feisty guy. You show that ball, he'll try to get it from you, and reached in and pulled that grape away from Roy.
16-point Sonic lead, 7:25 to go in the 3rd. Roy goes to work on Green. Drives in line, double. Aldridge with it. Out to Jack, 8 to shoot. And he will. It's a 3.
And that's the rebound you got to have right there.
Aldridge wanted to give it away. Sonics didn't take it. Blake will. He missed it. Petro with a rebound. Seattle moving into front court.
With that high, long bouncing rebound, that automatically puts you in transition. Durant inside.
Nice post move. He drew the lick, went down, and will head to the line. That's big time move there on the post for Kevin Durant with 14 points.
You know, Durant has not shot the ball well since he returned from New Orleans. Last night he struggled. Tonight at the break he's 3 of 12. But the only way that he's going to break through is to keep shooting the ball. Continue to be aggressive at the offensive end.
KD shoots 40% on the year from the field.
And he should be shooting closer to 45 or 46. So, you know, he's got some work to do and improve in that area of his game.
He is an 86%er at the line, and he knocks that one down for a 3-point play, and the Sonics lead now by 19.
5 in the quarter for Durant.
Aldridge doubled. Durant trying to recover, got clipped on a cross screen. Aldridge on the weak side drives it and hammers it home with a right-handed sledgehammer.
Aldridge plays above the rim, so anytime there's a penetration and the weak side comes, he's going to be the guy to get the ball, and he has been very effective tonight.
Nick screens up top, the 6'11 Aldridge on the 6'9 Durant. Skip pass comes to Green. He's 0 for 3. He's going to try to drive it now and score, and tried to throw it, but hit the rim. Aldridge had it, lost it, jabbed away by Collison. Wilcox stands over him and ties him up for a jump ball. Good hustle play by both clubs.
The last time the Sonics were here, they played the Memphis Grizzlies, and at this point in the ball game, they were rallying back. They were down by 19 in the third and found their running game outscored the Grizzlies 30-9 to take command of the game. They got to continue to run the ball here. Jack on a steal, almost lost it.
6 minutes left in the third quarter. Aldridge will turn and face Collison. Try to sweep across the middle. Nick makes contact, and the foul is a non-shooting foul. That is the second on Nick Collison. And we will take a break in the action. 5:55 left here in the third. From Seattle, with the Sonics lead the Portland Trailblazers by 17 big ones.
Closed captioning is brought to you in part by
Stay twice through April 6th and earn twice the rewards. AAA members earn 3 times. Twice is nice. 3 times is nicer. Visit bestwestern.com.
Well, the Portland Trailblazers as a team are shooting 31%, and they lag behind the Sonics, who lead it here 61-44. Let's go down to Jen Mueller, who was standing by near the Sonics huddle.
Well, Kevin, those stats don't sound very good for the Blazers, but P.J. Carlesimo knows that they are capable of making a run, and that's exactly what he just told his guys at the timeout. They will make a run on you. You will be fine. Just stay aggressive, and you can hold them off, guys.
Right now, thanks, Jen, LaMarcus Aldridge 7 for 11. The rest of the ball club is 9 of 40. That's 23%. And Brandon Roy 3 for 11. Still waiting for an explosion from him.
Well, it's tough to win when you can't score. Trusbilla was open at the rim, but they didn't see him. Against the clock, 5.
Sonics in a zone, 2 to shoot, and Jack fires a 3, and he got it. Wilkins got there, but Jack got rid of it. Got a quick release.
Now, when you're defending, you also got to know what the shot clock situation is. You know that ball's got to come up in the air, so whoever's going to touch it land, you got to be in his face. Watch it on the drive.
The rebound and the outlet goes by Jack and out of bounds. 10 turnovers on the Blazers. .5:16 left in the third. Seattle by 14. Sonics have scored 8 points off the Blazer turnovers tonight. Durant hangs in the air. Cross court to Watson. 9 to shoot. Boy stonewalls Wilkins. Durant fakes right, moves left over Webster. Short. Rebound to Jared Jack. Roy surveys the scene from in front of the Sonic bench.
He's got a mismatch, and he was trying to take advantage of it. Ended up turning it over. Durant in the open court.
Goes right at Jared Jack and dunks with 2 hands. Kevin Durant with 17 points.
Been a hard 17, but he'd like to have more chances like that. Outlaw coming to the scorer's table. Jack tries to kick it out to Brandon Roy.
Another 3 for the Blazers off the mark. Portland is 3 of 12 out there. Watson crosses over on Jack, steers it into the clutter, had it jabbed away and out of bounds. Last touch by Portland hands. Take a look at the Sonics go coast to coast.
They get that ball turned over, and Durant is the guy that picks it up, and he's got one thing on his mind, attacking, and that's what he does. And one thing he's learned as the season has progressed is to finish with authority. Remember when he's down in Phoenix and had a wide open opportunity and Diaw chased him down? I don't think we'll see many guys chasing him down anymore.
He brought it all the way back and let it go. Chris Wilcox with a roundhouse. Sonics by 18.
He does that really well.
He sure enough does. Wilcox with a dozen. We all had time to think about this. He's going to force something up. He draws the foul because he had Watson on it. Take a look. We all had a chance to just take a deep breath as Wilcox wound up on this one.
And you know, the amazing thing about Wilcox, with one step, it's a powerful effort, and you don't even think about sticking your hand in. You heard that, didn't you?
Yeah. I'm not putting my hand in there.
That's a warning to the opponent.
That's a dangerous job putting that hand up.
But Wilcox has played better since the finger has begun to feel better for him, and he's played with the same kind of authority that makes him a wrecking ball against the opposition. A lot of dunks from Wilcox.
13 double-doubles for Wilcox. He has 12 points and 5 rebounds tonight. Travis Outlaw goes to work and hits a couple. 3:43 left in the third. 65-49. Wilcox has 4 dunks tonight. Durant handle. Wilcox slips the screen, trying to power a pass in there, knocked down. Webster the other way. Nice recovery in there by Aldridge on the follow as he sails to the rim to tip it in.
Aldridge has been their most effective player in the half court in transition. He's chasing the ball, putting it back in, back to a 16-point game.
Earl splits a pair of defenders, big collision, counts the bucket, and he is fouled as he went right to the body of Brandon Roy. Roy picks up this foul, his second of the game.
Problem for the Trailblazers, they're not able to control the play at the point of attack. We talked about it when the Sonics have their troubles defensively. You got to be able to stop the ball. If you can't stop the ball, then you certainly cannot expect to be able to stop your opponent from finding ways to score. Wilcox out. Francisco Elson in. Now, what are you going to do with that? I mean, I know how you like to do that good, bad, and ugly thing.
Francisco Kid was a friend of mine. Talking about war, baby. They'll have it up on the PA system before long. They just need an old school guy like me to remind them. Here's Aldridge, had it jabbed away. Olsen the rebound. Watson out ahead of Wilkins. Will he? He will. He'll go right to the rim. That's the way you take it up on the big man, and he is fouled. He'll shoot 2. There's a timeout on the deck with 2:51 to go here in the third period. And the Sonics leading by 16. Hey, Cisco. Sonics up 16 with 2:51 to go in the third, and snap. The Sonics have been very consistent tonight. They have been pushing the ball at every opportunity.
Well, the push is what's allowed them to stay on the lead. They started with a great percentage, and whenever they've gotten in trouble, they've been able to get out of trouble by running the ball up the floor. They're only shooting 41%, but they have Portland shooting dramatically worse. Portland shooting 32%. So if you can continue to run and you got the lead, you add to it by getting the layup. The layup is becoming the forgotten shot in basketball. Webster, Jack, Presbilla, Roy, and Outlaw will take the floor as Damian Wilkins goes to the line. Wilkins, Rittenauer, Durant, Collison, and Francisco Elson in white.
And the Sonics now 13 from Damian, who has played well off the bench in 15 minutes, 7 points, 8 rebounds. But that's his first point here in the second half. 2:51 remaining in the third. The Sonics have led by as many as 19. The Blazers have never led. The Sonics jumped them. Led 8-0, and Nate McMillan called a timeout. Here's Brandon Roy. Again, covered by Durant. They give the Outlaw. One dribble adjustment to his right, and he sticks it.
Well, no, that's his game. He's going to give you that fake, and he's going to pull up. He has the ability to elevate, turnover.
Juggled by Nick into the hands of the Blazers. Brandon Roy. Roy tracked by Durant over the top of the screen. There's Outlaw now moving to his left and hitting a jump shot. That's impressive.
Well, that's the 1% that he's going to go left. And you got to, what happened is they got the big man out on him, and he takes him either way he wants. So back-to-back hoops for Outlaw.
Rittenauer fakes Jack out of position, gives to Nick, try to angle in a tough one there beneath the rim. And the Blazers run out 3-on-2. Webster will lay it in. And now P.J. Carlissimo paces in front of the Sonic bench. Here's that run that he mentioned during the timeout that Jen was telling us about. Well, it's a 6-0 Blazer run.
You help them make the run when you make mistakes. Yeah. So, what they've been up to this point is mistake-free or been able to answer. And now they have to answer. 1:35 to go. Looking to Kevin Durant against the defensive Roy.
Seattle by 11. Elson will take it. Faces up. Fakes. Presbilla takes it to the rim and is fouled.
Yeah, he was trying to take a page out of Wilcox's book.
Nelson, the 7-foot Dutchman, born in the Netherlands, played for the Dutch national team, and 4 years at Cal. Heading to the line. Don't miss the final episode of Mariners Mondays on FSN as we look back at the best games of 2007. This Monday, it's Mike Hargrove's final game as M's manager, and his club sure to send him out on a high note. It's an encore of Seattle and Toronto's 2007 July matchup this Monday night on FSN.
Nobody knew that was his last game.
No, I don't think he knew it was his last game. Nelson hits a free throw. One of those midlife things. He decided, you know, you got to go smell the roses a little bit here. But then I thought I read the paper. He's thinking about maybe managing next year. Here's Outlaw with it. Now again leaning to his left. That one was in and out. Rebound batted. Right to Jared Jack. Inside. Martell muscles one up. Would have counted had it gone. He has fouled and will go to the line. Now the Blazers pulling within 12 with 1:06 left here in the third.
When there's a jump shot, you got to make sure you box. Nobody got to press Billy. He was able to knock that one back out, which gives Martell Webster a chance to relive some of his days up here as a high schooler where he was the dominant player on his team. Number 6 pick in the draft.
Selected on the 05 McDonald's All-America team. And he hits. Martell played in 82 of a possible 82 last year and started in 27 games.
Martell's biggest problem is he's wound too tight. Yeah. He wants it too badly. He needs to learn how to relax and live with the mistakes of the game. Elson finally.
Oh, there he is out on the island from the angle. He knocks down a bucket. And that is his first basket as a Supersonic. 45 seconds left in the third. 13-point Sonic lead. Outlaw on the pick and pop. We'll take it. Changes direction, steps back, fires, no go. Rebound, Ridnow. Luke with a head up and scanning. Finds Collison trailing. Durant enters to Elson.
Elson thinks he's hot and wants to go again. Not hot yet.
Chris Billen with a rebound. 17 to shoot.
You see when the hand is twitching, that's when you know the guy wants to shoot the ball. His hand was twitching. I just made one.
He's like the sheriff in the Westerns. Here's Roy doubled. Travis sold a move to Ridnour, and Ridnour careens into him for the foul. And Outlaw will shoot 2.
Now, Elson is really thirsting for a chance to make an impression on his new bosses. Those hands are out right there. Yeah, I got this one. And that falls in for him, and he immediately wants a replay of it. Didn't get the second one to drop. But that's the strength of Elson's game. A big guy that can make that shot from the outside, run the floor, finish on the break, block shots, and rebound.
Outlaw up there. 23rd pick in the 03 draft coming out of Starkville, Mississippi. He's 23 years of age and now in the 5th year in the NBA. The Blazers were very patient with him. He only played 8 games his rookie year.
Well, his rookie year, his suit weighed more than he did.
He hits the second free throw. 11-point Sonic lead. 3 4/10 seconds left. Just don't turn it over here and maybe get a shot. Ridnour will not get off the shot in time. So we head to the 4th period of play in Seattle with a score of the Sonics 71. And the Blazers 60. The second game of a back-to-back between these two I-5 rivals. Well, Chris Wilcox was shaken and quaking. 12 points, 5 rebounds, and with that dunk, he drew the crowd up out of their seats. The Sonics outscored, however, by the Blazers in the third, 22-19. Nonetheless, Seattle holds an 11-point lead heading to the fourth.
Well, they hold an 11-point lead, and their field goal percentage has dropped because they've been shooting a lot of jump shots, so they got to get back to being the attack team. They won the first 2 quarters by being the aggressors, and they lost that edge in the third. They lose the quarter by 3. Steve Blake, Travis Outlaw, Brandon Roy, Joe Presville, and Martell Webster will start the fourth quarter for the Blazers.
Rednar out there with Wilkins, and then Collison, Elson, and Jelabal. Outlaw drop step spin on the move, leans back, caught rim, rolled in.
Now what does Outlaw do? He shoots. And you got to know that if he's out there on the floor, he's going to try to score the ball, so you got to keep him away from the ball as much as you can.
Collison screens for Jelabal, trying to turn the corner, sneaks a pass to Elson, who's fouled, roughed up inside. Blake got him from behind, shooting, and Elson now will step up for a deuce.
You know, and what McMillan figured out with Outlaw is leave him alone. You know, he knows one thing. I'm going to take advantage of how I can get that one thing out of him. 16 points in 16 minutes of play. And when a team needs some scoring, Outlaw is the guy that's going to make the difference. Elson misses the first.
Be part of the FSN Zone at every Friday night live game for just $30. Get a lower bowl ticket plus a Sonics t-shirt courtesy of FSN. That's for $30. Text FSN Zone to 59925 now and get in the FSN Zone next Friday. The Sonics host D-Wade and the Heat. 2 free throws missed, opening the door to the Blazers, who trail by 9. Just underway in the fourth. Here's Outlaw, who has 18 points in 17 minutes tonight. Giving to Roy. Draws the D, kicks to Outlaw. 2-man play to Brandon Roy. 6 to shoot. Muscles up a shot. Collison in there with Prisbilla wrestling, and a foul called on Seattle's Nick Collison.
Elson comes out of the game. Jeff Green comes back in, but you don't want to start allowing Portland to get 2 and 3 opportunities here in the fourth quarter of play. Wilcox off of the bench, and Collison will come out.
Nick picks up his 4th foul. Each team with a team foul. 1 minute gone by now here in the fourth. Seattle's led by as many as 19. The Blazers have not led. Blake coming off the screen to Roy. Jelabal forces him to his right, and then he kicks to Webster for 3. Nope. Green hauls down the rebound. Well, the Sonics need a bucket here. Ridnour long lead pass to Jelabal. The open floor of an open look. Rebound volleyed outside, tipped to Ridnour. Green has yet to score a bucket until now. He took it in deep and banked it.
Well, he had the mismatch against Blake, and once he got his balance, it was an easy finish for him. Roy coming hard to the rim.
Boy, a change of pace crossover by Brandon Roy, and nearly coaxed that one in.
Quick shot from Jelabal, one that he made in the first half. They make their save, and then they're going to get it very quickly back to Jeff Green against Steve Blake, and he gets the score.
Brandon Roy steps up to the line, averaging 19.5 a game. You know, just under 6 assists and 5 rebounds.
Roy is 3 for 12 going into the fourth, but he's a big fourth quarter player and a big moment player. You saw him put a little bit extra into that crossover and drive. He knows he's got to keep his team close.
10 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists for Roy. Sonics lead 73-64. Jelabal outside Ridnour for 3. Got it. Oh, they needed that. Ridnour with a Sonic tonic. A lead now of 12 with 10-11 to go in the ball game.
Luke made 3 of those last night, so he's feeling confident about his perimeter game. Outlaw again up.
He lost the handle as he went up, and Green reaches in, but I'm not sure how much contact he made there. It looked to me like Outlaw lost the handle when he went into the air.
You're a big fan of the scouting report. You got to get these guys to look at the scouting report. Outlaw, one dribble right, pull up, and shoot. Got him on the elbow.
He sure did. Good call. Well, after playing just 8 games his rookie year, as we mentioned, that was, what, 4 years ago. Here's what he has done since then. He's gradually improved to 9.6 last year. This year, unquestionably, breakthrough year for the young man from Mississippi who rolls in the free throw. He was involved in going back down to the Mississippi coast, Gulf Coast, to work and to help out after Hurricane Katrina. 9:55 to go in the fourth.
Very thoughtful, but you know, he's driven to be a success at the NBA level. Mismatch again, Green against Blake. Jello.
That was a nice move. Coming off the screen, he didn't panic. Snap, he got into the paint, knew where he wanted to go, and then converts.
Ooh.
Tipped away from Roy by Wilcox, who looked like he lifted the hand up at the ball. The foul's on Wilcox.
That's one that they kicked, but Jello Ball playing with control and poise, which he wasn't playing with before he went down to the D-League. So that playing time has re-inspired him to play the way he's capable of playing, finishing that one off. But Brandon Roy lost the ball on the change of pace and got a good call from the official.
Blake handling, cross court to Outlaw. He'll fire and miss. Rebound comes down to Jeff Green. Green on a push, gives it up to Luke. Hesitates, drives, and a foul called on the floor.
Where we will see Jeff Green get better is in transition. He is a terrific ball handler, and he's got great vision and court awareness, and he's still feeling his way. There's going to be a time in the latter part of the season where we're going to see Jeff Green get all the way to the rim, get all the way in, and kick it back out to make some plays for his teammates. He really does handle the ball exceptionally well, but he's still trying to figure it out.
Threw down just a fierce tip jam last night at Portland. Rednauer hits another big bucket. Luke coming off the screen, drills it. 7 points for Rednauer in 13 minutes. 8:56 to go in the fourth. Sonics by 14.
5 in the quarter for Luke.
Roy off the screen from Prisbilla. Dumps it to Martell Webster. Defended by Jello Ball. Roy with 9 to shoot. Finds Prisbilla diving from the top for a two-hand gripper.
And Prisbilla can thank Maurice Cheeks for that, because Cheeks spent a year with him, and all he did was say, dive to the bucket, we'll get you the ball, flush it. Don't do anything else, just catch it and flush it. And he had some really good numbers. Everybody was saying, who is this guy? Damian Wilkins scored over the top.
And he came off a screen and curled into the paint with a jump hook. Lovely, lovely shot. 8:19 to go in the ball game. The score, the Sonics 82, Blazers 68. We'll be right back. Sonics leading Portland 82-68. 8:19 to go in the fourth. The Sonic bench has come up big, particularly here in the fourth quarter of play.
Well, Miguel Jello Ball may turn out to be P.J. Carlissimo's version of Travis Outlaw, because he has a very nice stroke, and if you can keep him aggressive and looking for his chances to score, good things will happen for him and the Sonics. And Jello Ball in 10 minutes of play has 10 points, and that's a big lift for him.
Wilkins with 10, and Rednauer 7 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, and all 3 will stay on the floor with Wilcox and Green. Let's go down to Jen Mueller.
Well, Kevin, it's a familiar refrain down here where coach is reminding the guys, you know, if you push the ball and rebound, there's no way Portland can come back into this. But since you hear it so often, Snap, I'm wondering, does that message lose its effectiveness over the course of the game?
No, I mean, it's a reminder. You know, again, the Sonics have had trouble remembering what their identity is, and they're not a half-court team. They're better in the open court. They've shown it at different times. You can name the game, the Knicks game, the Toronto game, the Lakers game, in which when they were aggressive and pushing, they scored the ball. They had a lot of people involved, and they end up winning more than losing. When they lose games, it's because they're in the half court. Watch out.
Oh, Wilcox and Rednauer come together on a pick and roll. And Wilcox down the shoot has 14 points, 6 rebounds. Rednauer really handled himself well on that set. He tried to drive it, didn't have a lane, backed it out, didn't panic, time running down, and worked the pick and roll with Wilcox to perfection. 14 to shoot for Blake. Inside they go to Aldridge, checks the clock, he's got 8 to shoot. Blake for 3.
Gotta have that rebound. They just missed it. Would have been a great running opportunity for Jello Ball and Rednauer. You know, but Luke is a guy that, you know, you have to show him a little room, have some patience with him. He's very creative off the dribble. Wilcox has played with him for a couple of seasons, so he knows where to put himself, and Luke will give you something you can finish with.
16-point Sonic lead. Ridnour picked up by Aldridge.
You should be looking to go right by Aldridge. You don't fool around with the big guy that far out.
He'll back it out and then fire. And he hits. Oh, he shows great confidence airborne with that jumper. Ridnour 4 of 5 has 9 points off the bench.
Luke is saying you don't ever come out here. Because I am going to hurt you, big guy.
18-point lead. Roy going lefty all the way to the paint.
Well, I think that's part of Roy's success, that he has a great left hand, and the league hasn't figured it out. When he wants to hoop, he's going to go right, but he's going to come back to his left.
Jelly ball checked by Jack. Mikael with 8 to shoot.
Jelly wants it.
The ball fake. 1-2. Takes Blake in deep and finger rolled it up and in. He got what he wanted, didn't he? 12 points for Jelly.
He's got you in it now. Hand you some bread.
Roy dives into the lane, tripped up and fouled. He'll shoot 2. 8-2 Sonic run. Come and get your Jelly. Come and get that Jelly.
You know, it's been a tough season for him. You know, we were on the bus with him when he wasn't getting in the game, not able to show some of these skills. But Steve Blake, don't ever think you can stop it.
That's a heck of a move. Luke outside.
And, you know, with a mismatch, what they've been able to do is create mismatches. Jello ball against Blake, too big, too quick, have the ability to elevate. Same thing with Ridnour, too quick. So I'm going to give you a little move, and you back off, shoot it over the top. Press Villa in the game. Blake will sit.
It's a 17-point Sonic lead with 6:12 remaining. Sonics trying to close the deal here. They have 5 players in double figures, led by Kevin Durant with 17.
Roy gets 2. He got 6 in the quarter, 14 on the night. Their leading scorer is LaMarcus Aldridge. They're going to try to use those 2 guys with Travis Outlaw to get back in the game.
Blazers come into this game 29-25. They were the 10th best record in the West. They only take 8th in the playoffs. Green hits that mid-range shot. He's 2 for 6, has 4 points, and the Supes lead by 18. Blazers have won just 8 on the road all year. Roy drives in, hands to Brisbilla. Rejected at the rim. Got it back. That'll be a jump ball. Jump ball called. Excellent Sonic defense at the cup. We'll come back and we'll revisit our keys to the game. We'll see who was right and who was wrong. Sonic by 18. Sonics leading Portland with 5:42 left in the game, an 18-point lead. We revisit our keys to the game, and we bring in Bob Weiss from our studio in Bellevue. And Bob's key was limit Brandon Roy. Well, they certainly have done that. And what has been the key to that tonight, Bob? How have they been able to do that?
Well, I tell you, I think Durant's length has done a good job on him. He's been able to stay off him and make him take outside shots, and they've done a terrific job. But I think the whole team, it's all sparked the running game. You're making them miss, and they're getting out and taking it to Portland.
And we were just talking during the break about Mikael Jelabal and how he will benefit by this trade. What do you mean by that?
Well, you know, he's always been a player that seems to play with a lot of poise. He's a very quiet player. You know, he doesn't do the flashy things, but he never hurts you. He plays within his game. I think he really understands the game very well. And so when he gets minutes, I think he's going to have very productive nights.
Thanks, Bob. Appreciate that as we take a look back at our keys to the game. Snap, what was your key?
See, that's your way of avoiding me. I said run the ball. And you scoffed at me at the beginning of the game. Now that you got an 18-point lead, you want to talk to me.
You hit it on the head, but only 11 fast break points, I'm reminded by.
Well, it's not just the number of fast break points. It's what it does for them in terms of getting them better scoring opportunities. Seattle has not been a good half-court team all year long. Portland has been a good half-court team, and they're finding out that when a team does a good job against you defensively, Roy makes a steal.
Yeah, that was a slow pass. Jack the other way, sets up Roy for the slam.
8 in the quarter for Brandon Roy.
Rednauer threw a lollipop over there, and it was easily plucked away.
But it's much easier to control an opponent that is not very good at executing. So you take away the first option or the second, now they're in trouble. Wilkins on the drive.
Oh, look at it, power up and knocked down. Aldridge got a piece, and Damian writhing in agony. He landed hard. I think he was just able to get his feet under him, and man, he took a horrific spill. And Mike Sheminsky out there immediately to attend to Damian Wilkins.
Now, you know what? In this rivalry between Portland and Seattle, we've seen a lot of it, and one of the great players that Portland had to make a big dent against the Sonics when they were playing well was Drexler. Now, Drexler, if he got hit, he would bounce right up. He could be dying, but he would not let you know that you got him. He got his eye cut open really bad against the Knicks at the Garden, and you could see him bleeding. He acted as if nothing had happened. And when you get a guy that can bounce after a hit like that, it's very discouraging to the defense.
Now, Wilkins, after doing an inventory of his body parts, does indeed get up, and he'll walk under his own power over here to the bench. He'll kind of flexing that right elbow. He felt bam right there on that elbow and took the full brunt on the elbow. And the other guy, talking about the great series here between the Sonics and the Blazers from the 80s on. How about the matchup between Xavier McDaniel and one Jerome Kersey? That was one to live for. We'll talk about that in a moment when we return here to Seattle. Sonics basketball on FSN brought to you by Lexus. The new LS, unprecedented. Visit allnewls.com. Along with Steve Snapper Jones, Jen Mueller, Kevin Calabro, Key Arena. Sonics leading, 4:59 left in the ball game, 91-74. And Damian Wilkins, who just took a horrific spill a moment ago, goes to the line for 2 shots. Hit the first, missed the second.
Well, I concur with you about these. Xavier McDaniel, Jerome Kersey, they were 2 heavyweights, and they didn't back down about anything. Jaren Jack with a miss.
Cut from the same cloth. Outlaw recovers. He knocks down a beauty. Outlaw 22 points on 7 of 13 in 21 minutes of work.
6 in the quarter. 15-point game.
Rednauer crashes into Brisbilla, loses the ball, and then has to foul Jaren Jack.
Luke was trying to draw that foul as the ball got away from him. He got contact. Brisbilla got him, but he was only throwing his body around. You need to let some air out.
Let some air out?
Oh!
You know, the best in the business of that, and I've yet to hear anybody come close. Irvin Johnson, Magic Irvin Johnson.
Oh yeah, he let some air out.
He had that yelp when he went into the paint. Jack hits the free throw.
You know, these are the tricks of the trade that the really talented and smart players will pick up, and they will rely on it in the big moments of the game. Portland with the press.
And Green fires a bullet pass into front court to Wilkins. 4:23 to go. Rednauer for 3. Short. And Outlaw climbs into the air to get it. Roy looks at the clock. Hey, we got a shot here, he says. Down 13, 4:14 to go. Need a bucket here, though. Outlaw wins.
They're trying to take the advantage of the mismatch. Outlaw against Rednauer. And Marcus Aldridge steps outside to get his first 2 points of the fourth 11-point game.
And Wilcox got caught in between. He was trying to help that post defense. 6-0 Portland run. Look out, they're down 11, 3:49 left.
Poise is what you need in these situations. Team makes a run, know where you want to get your score, how you want to score. 7 on the clock. Into Jeff Green.
Green wants it, spins. Look at the left hand, up and in. Oh, what a move by Jeff Green. Drop step into the paint with the left hand mitt. Nice play. 13-point Sonic lead. A left hand hook from a right hander. Roy misses. Green the rebound. Up it comes to Wilkins.
A mismatch here. Damian trying to go in low. Gets the foul.
And so Damian to shoot 2. Watch Jeff Green go to work on the post. Time running down, and you talked about poise a minute ago.
But you do have to play under control, and you have to know where you can go to get the score. And part of Jeff's success in the season has been he's surprised the defense with his ability to score off the post.
That is a major league move. Left-hand jump hook from a right-hander. Wilkins hits the free throw. He's got 12 points and 8 rebounds. Wilkins has played well, and Green has come alive down the stretch here in this ball game. 3:10 left. Sonics trying to finish. They lead by 15.
5 in the quarter for Damian.
Great crowd on hand tonight, by the way. Friday night at the Key Arena. Backing down is Outlaw, double team. Off balance, got it. Man, he is a scoring machine. Isn't he? He's something. And he is a wire. 22 for Outlaw in 23
every
minutes.
team needs a player like that is aggressive at the offensive end, that can make shots. Now, if you're aggressive and you can't make shots, it does you no good. He can make shots, and that's what they've discovered. Wilcox. Outlaw slapped that one back.
Here comes Outlaw to Roy in the corner. They dump it to Aldridge. 2:23 left, and Jack will put off the mark and out of bounds. Team rebound. Sonics will take it with 2:18 remaining.
Now think about this. This has been his second unit. We have not seen Durant the entire fourth quarter. They've been able to maintain the lead with Gelaball, Rittenauer, Wilkins out on the floor.
I don't think we've seen Watson out there in the fourth quarter either.
No, sir.
Rittenauer this time gets a contact foul on Prisbilla.
Now that's a penalty situation, so Rittenauer will get a pair of free throws. He's got 7 1/4. If he makes one or both of these, he'll be in double figures. So it's been a balanced attack for the offense of P.J. Carlesimo.
When these trades are made, I think sometimes, and I've fallen in this category, I think a lot of the fans do too, you kind of survey the trade based on, well, what players did they get back? Sometimes simply by pruning the tree, you produce a little more fruit, and that may be the case for the Sonics now.
Yeah, they relied very much on Kurt Thomas in a half-court situation, high pick and roll, which made them a very predictable team. We had seen all season long, even when Kurt was there, if they rebounded and ran, they were having a better chance of staying in the game, controlling their opponents. Their defensive energy level was higher. When they missed those shots, that's when they struggled.
Take a look at our Chili's essential ingredients. Well, Brandon Roy scores 16, 8 in the fourth quarter. However, 5 of 17 shooting. And the Sonic defense was very good. They really dampened him tonight. Damian Wilkins, 13 points, 8 rebounds. Off the bench with 2 assists. And the Blazers held a 37% shooting after winning last night, shooting just 38%.
Well, that's been their big struggle. Since they started losing games, they haven't been able to make shots. In the streak, they got some timely big shots that go in from Outlaw, Roy, Jack, and they exuded that confidence. Once that bubble popped, then they started to struggle. There's a lot more doubt by them about whether they can win a game.
Blazers 10th in the West. Denver was the 8th seed at 33-20. The Blazers have lost 25. Here's Roy for 3. Got it. Brandon Roy with 1:53 remaining in the ball game gets the Blazers back within 12. 97-85.
11 1/4 for Brandon Roy. The one thing you have to like about Roy is there's no quit. He continues to play. He continues to really stay aggressive. Watch out, Green.
Damian Wilkins driving baseline and Green diving from the opposite point. And he's fouled and will head to the line.
But what the Sonics have done better is have people going inside and attacking the defense. And Jeff Green has stepped up here in the fourth quarter of play to make himself an effective inside player and keep the Sonics in the high percentage area to score the ball.
Aldridge, 23 points, 8 rebounds, is fouled out of the ball game. And Green with the free throw has 7.7 rebounds, and the Sonics lead here by 13. 1:38 remaining in the fourth. Green tees up his next.
Got 8 in the quarter. Had nothing coming into the fourth.
I want to congratulate the folks at KJR Radio here in Seattle, the all sports radio station. For many years, 19 years, I think, the home of the Supersonics on radio, did a terrific job today from 6 a.m. until, I don't know, maybe cooking over there probably till midnight with local programming of kind of going back in time in the Sonics, interviewing a lot of the Sonic players, coaches, broadcasters, writers, personalities, fans that have enjoyed Sonic basketball over the years. That was a nice trip down through time. Outlaw hits the free throw. Just kind of a reminder of what Sonic basketball means to the community.
Well, it means a lot. I mean, they've been here for 41 years. They've had a great impact on the NBA, and by the crowds that we've been getting all season long, they still love their Sonics. Outlaw with 2 more.
Absolutely. And a great Northwest rivalry tonight between these two ball clubs. Fourth quarter shooting for the Blazers. They've hit 10 of 10 from the line, but time running out on the Blazers. Seattle leading here by 12 with 1:23 remaining.
10 in the quarter for Outlaw, 26 in the game. So Outlaw has been given the nickname down in Portland, Mr. Fourth Quarter. He's had a big finish here, but it hasn't been enough as they try to trap the ball. Against the trap, you want to move, and then you want to cut to the hoop. You're in the penalty. You want to be taking that ball to the rim, putting the pressure on the defense and the officials. Yellow ball.
Great looking jumper, missed it. Look at Green, high into the air for the rebound, and then wisely brings it outside. The Sonics need to use time here. 19 to shoot. 58 seconds remaining. 13 to shoot. A jello ball inside to Green, doubled up. His pass got away. Roy with it ahead to Outlaw. What's he going to do? Oh, he's out of control and rams into Rednauer, and he'll give it right back to the Supersonics. Luke getting back and getting set.
Well, Outlaw knows one thing. I'm coming full speed ahead. Yeah. He's not quite like Karl Malone, elbows out, knees high, but he is coming, and Rittenauer reads it all the way. And the crowd really appreciates the effort here for the Supers.
Crowd on their feet. 99-87, 43 seconds left in the ball game. Rittenauer will circle. He's a guy you're going to have to chase. He can handle it well, and he can shoot the lights out at the free throw line. He'll hand off to Jellibo. 30 seconds remaining in this one. Jelly crossing over, working Webster. The 1-2 into the lane. And he was either out of airspace or just threw it away. In any event, he lost it out. Blazers will bring it up. Boy will shoot a 3, and that cast will just about do it as Green secures the rebound, and that will indeed get her done. Sonics tonight will win this one. This will be their 15th victory of the year. Their 10th at home to go 10-18, and the Blazers will drop to 29-26. They are 8-19 on the road. And in the season series now, the Sonics have won lifetime in the series between the two clubs 97, while the Blazers have won 94. It's been that close, and it's been a real privilege to once again witness the I-5 get-together. The Hatfields and the McCoys, the Montagues and the Capulets, the backyard squabble of the Northwest cousins of the NBA. 99-87 final. Seattle wins tonight over Portland. Let's go down to the court and Jen Mueller.
Well, Kevin, it's got to feel good to get that win after last night.
You know, it feels good. You know, they beat us twice, and we wanted some revenge, and we came out strong today and got the win.
And everything seemed to be clicking for you guys.
Oh, yeah. I mean, guys coming off the bench scoring a lot of points. Mikhail came in and played well. Everybody played well tonight. Even Francisco came in and gave us some good minutes. So we got to build on this.
Absolutely. Congratulations on the win, Kevin. That was 17 points from Kevin Durant tonight. The Sonics get the win over the Blazers 99-87. We're back with more from Key Arena.
Too many guys chasing him down.
He brought it all the way back and let it go. Chris Wilcox with a roundhouse. Sonics by 18.
He does that really well.
Hi, everybody. Angie Minton here and Bob Weiss for Sonics Live. We will get you back out to Key Arena in just a second. But first, Coach, we got a new look roster. I mean, these guys were playing inspired basketball tonight. Is this group ever going to lose a game again?
Maybe. But what a difference a day makes, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. What is it, 41, 42 points off the bench, Kevin Calabro, for the Sonics tonight?
You know, Angie, we talked during the course of the game about trades and how sometimes these things work out when you move guys out. For instance, Delonte West, Wally Serbiak, guys at the two-guard position are gone, so that gives ample time to people like Wilkins playing the 2-3 role and Jelabal playing some 2 and 3 as well.
Well, they have a little bit more versatility and guys that can cover a little bit better, and they can also react better in the running game. And that's what we saw from Jelabal, who handles the ball quite nicely. At the start of the year, he had to play some 2-guard himself. And Damian getting the chance to play and, rediscover himself. The start of the season, he was a starter. After the Atlanta game where he played so big, I think it threw him off. He felt the pressure. He never recovered. They changed the lineup, put Jeff Green in, and he was the guy that was just kind of lost, as was Jelabal. Jelabal was not getting any playing time. They sent him down to the D-League. You've always marveled at the stroke that he's had, and he got to display it tonight. But he also showed that he can put it on the floor and he can find his way against the defense, and those things are important as you see him dance around Steve Blake. You got to have players that are capable of contributing and contributing quickly. Look at what the bench did tonight.
10 guys play, and the bench was terrific. Wilkins 13, Jelabal 12. Rednauer had the 11 points, 3 assists, and was 4 of 6 shooting from the field as well. And then, of course, the reinforcements will come on Sunday when Danielle Marshall and Ira Newble and Adrian Griffin will be here, and presumably, we were last told, will be available to play on Sunday when the Sonics meet the Los Angeles Lakers, who are in town, and they're 7-1 since Pau Gasol arrived on the scene. 22.7 rebounds for Gasol, shooting 65% since joining the Lakers, and Kobe 26 points, 5.5 assists, and 47% shooting. Lamar Odom picked up his game as well, and they got some role players there like Luke Walton, Vujacic, and
what's helped Lamar Odom is the arrival of Paul Gasol to be the number 2 scorer. Lamar Odom never wanted to be the number 2 scorer. He's a versatile player who likes to keep everybody involved, and if you could write down a number from him and say 15 and 7, be perfectly content with that. You'd say your ability should say 21 and maybe 8 or 9, but he's not going to do it every night. Gasol is a scorer, and what he has found out in playing for the Lakers, when you play with good guys and then you play with the 900-pound gorilla, there's a big difference. And the big gorilla is thirsting for another shot at that championship round. So all of that talking that Kobe did about being traded has gone bye-bye, because now they have a team that he thinks can contend in the playoffs.
Yeah, and that's the key, because now he's talking about championship, and we know how competitive he is. And when he talks championship, he puts the words into action. So they'll all be here on Sunday. Let's send it back to the studios, and Angie Mentink standing by with the coach, Bob Weiss.
All right, guys, thank you very much. They mentioned the bench play tonight, or that's what they were getting to, and you had just as many bench players tonight in double figures as you did starters. Sonics, as a whole, got out to a big lead tonight, and they never let up.
They never did, and I think they did it with their defense tonight, and because offensively they just had an okay night shooting-wise, but defensively they held Portland to a low 37% from the field. They got steals, and once they got the steals, they got into that running game that Snapper always talks about, but it's tough to do that without getting stops, and when you get a lot of stops, that is when you can go out and get those easy buckets, and they certainly capitalized on that tonight.
Well, it was a homecoming of sorts for Brandon Roy and Martell Webster, both Seattle natives, but both of these guys really struggled tonight.
Sometimes it's tough when you come home, because you go in that locker room, you're collecting tickets. It's like you're a ticket master, and you get phone calls during the day. It just really breaks up your regular sequence of what you do on game day, and sometimes it can get to some players. Some players are funny. Some guys will go into their hometowns and just rip it up. Other guys go in and struggle a little bit from what they usually do. So you never know until you see how a player is going to react to that. But a lot of distractions sometimes.
Yeah, 19 points for Brandon Roy. A lot of guys would hate to have an off night like that.
But only shot 33%.
Sure. No, it's off for him. All right, thanks, Coach. More from you in just a little bit. Right now, I've got some sad news. Robert Swift's knee injury last night was much worse than first expected. It is a torn meniscus in his right knee. This injury is not thought to be related to the ACL tear that shelved him all of last season. Swift has appeared in just 8 games this year. Well, up next for the Sonics, it's the hottest team in the NBA, the LA Lakers, and their brand new power forward, Pau Gasol. A preview of that on the way. Plus, we take you to Peoria, where the Mariners are gearing up for the season. What did Ichiro do this offseason? We make him write a report. next.
He'll change his pace on the dribble. 2-on-3-on-2.
Oh, he leaves it for Wilcox right up the boulevard and slams it down the chute.
Chris Wilcox and the Sonics play spoiler tonight. Next up for the Supes, the LA Lakers and their new big man, Pau Gasol. The last time these two teams squared off was January 15th. Pau Gasol was still in Memphis, and the game went into overtime. That was before Kobe Bryant did what Kobe Bryant does.
I think you have to go at Kobe. You can't let him come to you.
Got it! Kobe Bryant going to his left. Drills an 18-footer with 4 3/10 seconds remaining.
The last meeting between the Sonics and Lakers ended in heartbreak. Kobe Bryant drills the game winner in overtime, and the Lakers edged the Sonics 123-121.
It was an ugly game for us. I mean, no ways about it, no two ways about it, and we found a way to tough it out.
Kobe dumped in 48 points, increasing his season average against the Sonics to 41.5 points per game. But Kobe will likely share the load this time with recently acquired center Pau Gasol. Since joining the Lakers, Gasol is controlling the paint, averaging around 20 points and 8 rebounds a contest. Now that's a much different story than in the January 14th meeting where the Sonics outscored Los Angeles by 10 in the paint. Nick Collison scored 24 and took advantage of Andrew Bynum's absence. Bynum is still a few weeks away from his return, but the Lakers are rolling after opening the month with a 7-2 road trip. Of course, that's Sunday, but tonight they're still enjoying their win over the Portland Trailblazers. We listen in on PJ Live at Key Arena.
Out and run most of the night. We did a much better job defensive rebounding than we did last night. They still got whatever they got, I can't see, but it didn't hurt us as much as it did last night. When they got them, last night, everyone they got, they converted. They got some threes on us, but when we did defensive rebound, we got out and ran the ball, ran the floor very, very well. Just we had a lot of guys play well. Damian rebounded extremely well off the bench. Jelly gave us really good minutes. Weezy had an excellent game. I mean, you know, last night Weezy flew whatever he had. I mean, it didn't even look like him. Tonight was a lot more what we're used to seeing. First game, I thought Francisco did a really good job. He gave us some good minutes. At times, he gave us good defense on Travis. You know, same old. A lot of guys played well. Thought we defended and contested shots pretty well. I think we didn't foul as much as last night. I don't know, but so we did a lot of things better than we did last night. You know, and I still think we played all right last time. I mean, I think we've played 96 good minutes, and if you throw Memphis in, we've played 3 pretty good games since the break, so that's encouraging.
It's tough to keep that speed up the entire game, but when you start hitting some shots and you get some turnovers at the other end, does that kind of help you so you don't feel your legs anymore? Yeah, well, it helps a lot. I just think it was more fresh. I think we guys gave us good minutes off the bench, and we were able to shorten people's rotations, which wasn't just that it was the back-to-back, it was also 3 and 4. So, you know, we're trying to conserve as much as we can. Luke shot the ball well. I mean, you know, just go right down the line. All the guys who played off the bench, Francisco and Nick and Damian, you know, had a real strong game, particularly rebounding in the first half. Luke made some big shots and ran the pick and roll well. And 5, I mean, you know, 10 guys played, 10 guys contributed.
All right, let's continue to look ahead to the Los Angeles Lakers and the newly acquired Pau Gasol. Do you think Pau Gasol makes the Lakers the team to beat in the West, or do you think maybe that depends on whether or not Andrew Bynum is able to come back from injury or not?
Well, Bynum would definitely give him a bigger boost because it gives him another rebounder, another shot blocker. But I think Gasol by himself, and as this team stands right now, is good enough to get out of the West. Now, they're going to have a better chance with Bynum, but Gasol just adds so much to him. He slides everybody down a slot in what they have to do productively at the offensive end, and that's a big thing. It was Kobe before, and then you weren't really sure who was going to be your number 2 man. Now the number 2 man is Gasol. Everybody else just kind of fits in around that, and he's versatile too. He gives you so many things. He can shoot from the outside, he can run the floor, block shots, he can score inside. Just a great compliment and a great pickup.
Yeah, well, the Lakers have been close to unbeatable with him. Like you said, 7-1. He's averaging, 22 points, 7 rebounds a game with Los Angeles. What about the Suns? They won again tonight. They've got Shaq. What about these guys?
I'm still not sure how that's going to work out. You know, I know Shaq is there. He's going to help them. But they're going to have to adapt, and I'm sure they'll be able to. They've got a good coach that's good at that. But I'm still not sold on how that's going to work out for them because
with him standing at the half court.
Well, you know, not so much there, but on defense. You've always been able to get a shot. If Shaq was in the game, you could run a pick and roll off of Shaq's man, and you were fairly certain of being able to attack him and get a decent shot. So it's going to be interesting to see how he stands up and how they can adjust the differences in their games.
Well, the trade deadline has come and gone, and Francisco Elson is one of the newest Sonics brought in by Sam Presti. Coming up, we're going to ask the Sonics GM what he has up his sleeve next. Sonics Live on FSN is brought to you by Quest, the spirit of service. A mad scientist, Sam Presti, has had his Bunsen burner out, mixing test tubes of ingredients, trying to come up with the right mixture before the trade deadline. The goal here, that nothing blows up in his face. What's bubbling over is their draft picks. 13 picks over the next 3 drafts. Now, if you think the Sonics general manager was told to put the payroll on simmer, well, that just isn't so.
Clay has been tremendously supportive in our decision-making from the basketball side, and I think the best example of that is a Kurt Thomas deal. You know, that's a deal where we took Kurt into an exception with nothing going out. And that increased our payroll significantly. But we felt like it was the right thing to do for our team on the basketball court, and clearly we were able to add some additional assets at the same time.
You know, Coach Weiss, the trade does one other thing. I think it defines the roles of some players like Earl Watson and Johan Petro. What does that do for this team moving forward, and specifically those guys?
Well, I think both of those players have, I think, solidified. Coming into the season, nobody knew who the center was going to be. Nobody knew where they were going to stand. The point guard role was up for grabs. Well, there were some things that happened, some injuries that gave Earl Watson a good look, and I think Earl Watson now has kind of solidified his position as the lead point guard. And Petro, all of a sudden, has gotten time, and he seems very comfortable in that starting position. So we're going to see how he does. I think other guys are going to get to chance again now are Wilkins and Jellyball. We haven't seen much of Jellyball at all, but he's always been a steady player. So I'm kind of anxious to see how those two players do when they're not looking over their shoulder at Wally Zerbiak.
Well, you just mentioned Damian Wilkins. He had 13 of the 41 points coming off the bench. He also took a very hard fall. How's he feeling? We find out.
Great bench play tonight. You're one of the reasons. 13 points, 8 rebounds off the bench. What was the difference between last night and tonight?
We sustained our energy for 48 minutes, and we sustained their run. They did a great job making a run and getting back in the game and coming back, hitting shots and turning us over. And we did a great job sustaining that run. We rebounded well tonight. We rebounded a lot better tonight on both ends, and just able to get it done.
Where did that energy come from? You're playing 3 and 4 nights, and you're coming off a back-to-back?
Well, you know, it's all about pride and wanting to come out and just not let them get us again. We let one slip away from us up there. They played great. Their crowd was great. But that was a game we should have won. And, you know, we only played one half up there, and we wanted to come down and put 4 quarters together.
We saw you take a pretty hard fall there. How are you feeling?
About to get an X-ray right now.
We'll keep our fingers crossed.
Yikes, that doesn't sound good. So not feeling fantastic. Mr. Sonic is now draped in black and red. We still make time for him on this show. Nate McMillan coming up next. Sonics Live on FSN is brought to you by Jack in the Box, where we don't make it until you order it. The Blazers are battling for the 8th spot in the West, but unfortunately they have lost now 6 of their last 7. I can't imagine this makes Nate McMillan smile.
What stands out for you in this game?
Just, you know, I don't think we quite got the message of
this type of game. It's almost like a playoff game where you just beat a team, 24 hours ago, and mentally you have to be just as hungry to come out and play with a sense of urgency as they do. And that didn't happen. They came out with the aggressiveness. You should expect that. But in the same turn, you want to come out and be solid and not give up anything easy. They came out, jumped on us from the start, and they didn't let up and basically controlled the game from start to finish.
How would you describe that start by you guys?
Probably thinking for whatever reason, maybe you could walk in here and get a win. Why we would think that that shouldn't be the case, and I don't know if it is the case, but they came out and they established the tempo of the game. We never controlled the tempo of the game. They played at their tempo pretty much most of the night.
What is your tone right now with this team? Has it started to get more and more angry or more and more pointed, or are you still giving them slack?
No, it's not giving them slack as opposed to teaching them and growing with them. I think you have to be hard when you need to and be patient when you need to.
Is this a time to start being hard with them?
Well, I've been hard, it is what it is. We didn't play well tonight. We look at the tape and we try and get it right before Sunday.
I just know I had to be aggressive and attack the basket. Last game, like I said, I was going in there weak, and I think tonight I just want to be aggressive and just attack the basket. And if I was going to get fouled, I want to get fouled going hard.
For as much as we liked watching your offense tonight, that seemed to translate too on the defensive end because you guys had an awful lot of energy and were really pestering them.
Yeah, well, like I said, we want to get aggressive on the defensive end tonight. Last game, like I said, they attacked us hard, and they kind of punked us in the post. And I think tonight we just wanted to go out there, just play hard, and then give them a little bit of what they gave us last game.
Bob, we saw one new face on the bench tonight, more coming. Where does this team go from here?
Well, I think, we've been talking about development and who to watch, and it's been the young players. Well, they're going to continue to try and develop, and it'll be interesting watching how they grow the rest of the year. But one thing that's going to be interesting to me is to see how Jellaball and Wilkins come out with this and how Petro develops. He's going to be getting some minutes now. And he'll take some looks at the new guys, but there's some people on this bench yet that we haven't really seen enough of yet, and I'm looking forward to seeing Wilkins and Jellaball play some extended minutes.
Yeah, and Johan Petro's been one of those guys for the last few weeks that's just been saying, I'm going to make you play me. All right, that's it for us. College basketball all day tomorrow. Then the Sonics and Lakers on Sunday. Our coverage from the Key starts at 5:30. Until then, have a great night.